Hello and welcome to my 50 match summary. Every week I take a deck that won the vote here on YouTube and run 50 matches to explore how it's doing on the best of one ladder. And this week the Orzhov Lifegain won the vote. And I ran this one just I think 2 weeks ago, but we've seen some changes. So we wanted to check out whether or not the case of the Uneaten Feast was worth playing. And this kind of gives us a Lunarch Veteran and a Sadistic Pilgrim. So we have a total of 10 cards that trigger ETB gain 1 life, which works really nicely for growing our Voice of the Blessed and our Amalia Benavides Aguirre into large threats. And we've got Deep Cavern Bat, which was not in the original list, which it's kind of confusing because like Deep Cavern Bat is a common 2-drop in many archetypes, and so this helps prevent our opponent's disruption. Then we've got Extraction Specialist, which I really like in Orzhov, being able to bring back a Deep Cavern Bat that they've removed. But yeah, it's also got lifelink, so it fits the theme. Gumdrop Poisoner creates a food token as an adventure, and then gives a creature -X, where X is the amount of life that you gain this turn. So even without popping the food token, this can be used as really nice removal. And when you have a Lunarch Veteran or a Case in play, then you can also just play this to remove something with 1 toughness, which has been relevant against Mono-Red. And then we've got 1 copy of Resplendent Angel. So the previous list was running 4 of these, and we've cut this back down to 1. This gives us a nice kind of payoff to gaining a bunch of life. I'm not 100% sold on having the 1 copy of the Resplendent Angel. So far, I have not actually been able to play it, and it just, like, I feel like maybe even just 1 more Sadistic Pilgrim would be better. But it does give us an alternative threat and a way to close out the game. Then we've got Shieldred the Apocalypse, which gains us life every time that we draw a card, and then deals 2 damage to our opponent when they draw a card. And then we've got Gix's Command, and I kind of want to go up on the Gix's Command, because like I feel like you either are in the category of I have Wraths, or you're playing against Wraths, right? And one thing that I've definitely felt that doesn't feel changed from when I ran it 2 weeks ago is that this deck does struggle against control, because we don't have a really great way of rebuilding after a Wrath, after a board wipe. So I kind of, could potentially play around with going back up to Gix's Command up to 3. I think there were 3 copies in the previous list. Can't remember exactly. We're bringing in 1 copy of the Aklazot's Deepest Betrayal, which is just 4/4 flying lifelink. That's just a recurring threat, because unless they exile this, you can just bring it back. And then we've got 2 copies of the Virtue of Persistence, which acts as early removal that triggers a life gain, giving target creature -3/-3. Or for 7, we get a late game threat that can cycle our graveyard. The problem with this is if you're playing against Sunfall and everything's exiled, then there's nothing in your graveyard to bring back. And same thing if you get hit by a Farewell. So as far as things go, 2 weeks ago, it does well if you're coming up against Mono-Red, and it does well if you're coming up against Boros Convoke. And I do think that it still is a decent option against a heavy meta full of Boros Convoke. So, but I'll go over the favorite matches from the 50, and then at the end, kind of go over a match summary of how it was performing on the ladder. So, enjoy. Alrighty, here we go. Opponent is going first. We're on the draw, but we've got Lunarch Veteran into Amalia or Deep Cavern Bat. Let's see, Swamp, Dimir Midrange, Esper Control. Could be a Golgari deck. That would be kind of interesting. I think I'll play the Deep Cavern Bat pre-combat here, just in case if the Lunarch Veteran does die. And we're up against Golgari. Look at that. Guess my best chance here is to block Glissa, and deal with the Shieldred with a Gonjo. No, Gonjo does 4. Gix's Command to answer that. Shieldred's a problem. I think I just take their turn 3 play. Develop a little bit more. A Cave gives it so that we can play Shieldred next turn. They're going to play a Shieldred, then we play a Shieldred that at least offsets each other. Splendid Angel, then potentially it's enough life. Let's see that. With the Shieldred giving us 2, 3, 4, we're going to be short of doing this. Could be right to play the Amalia. This deck has very little interaction. One of the problems. So what are we going to do when they slam a 4/4 lifelinker? Gix's command? Alright. Here we go, we got the Acklazotz. Good news here is with Gix's command, I'm going to gain enough life so I can pump the Angel, and that's going to give me a 4/4 flyer. Gix's command, and this is why I was saying I want more than one copy of Gix's command. Hey, there we go. Golgari Midrange down. Alright, opponent goes first. Here we go. Got Case into Malia into Extraction Specialist. Let's go. Okay, we're up against Selesnya Enchantments. There's a chance that that's still something we can hit with the Virtue. Play the caves, create like a food token, and hit it there. Justification. Okay. I think the longer we can just slow them down, the better. Okay, and well, we need a blocker for that, that's for sure. Can't quite do the 2 here. We go with Extraction Specialist. That. We have 5 mana next turn, go Gix's command. If they pump the Calyx, we may have to chump block. Okay. Because it gets removed anyway from the ossification. Gix's command leaves them with the Jukai Naturalist. I mean, it's still a Jukai Naturalist, right? I mean, could be in trouble here. But, like, as long as they can't pump the Jukai Naturalist, we can remove it with the Gumdrop Poison. Okay, they have more Calyx. Wait. Okay. Luckily, because of the 1 life off of Case of the Uneaten Feast, we can still wipe the Calyx. And then we have to hope that we're still alive after that. And I get a pump here. I mean, we're surviving. Oh my god, 3rd Calyx. Calm down. Calm down. Last card. Guess that's what we're doing. Okay. Great that they just draw a land. I could have attacked there because this allows you to play creatures from your graveyard. Super great. I think my best hope is Virtue. Well, we gotta block this. Whenever Calyx or an enchanted creature, neither of these. I think I just take 7. I guess I could trade here. One more land and we can do the Virtue of Persistence. Next turn, not blocking. Belly seems like an okay thing eventually. Sure. Not sure I'm going to play Shieldred over just playing the Virtue, though. Are we dead, though? Not dead yet. It's greedy. It's a lot safer to just play the Shieldred. And Gumdrop Poisoner for removal. They come up with 3 damage. Gonna go with yellow. Four. Okay. Can we stabilize? I need life gain. Oh, it's gonna be in the wrong order, huh? Could go Extraction Specialist to get the core. All right, up to 9. Survive. Isn't that fine just to like trade the Shelly here? Okay. Toxic is a way for them to. Alright. I think I just bring back Shieldred, right? I guess I could get rid of Skrelv. Okay, I think we're starting to solidify here. I wonder if I can play both. This will be for science. What if I do this? Yeah, okay. I could just leave them with the one Skrelv. GG Selesnya Enchantments. Started playing with my food there. Alright. Slow hand. Probably potential mulligan. Okay. We're gonna take some damage here, but Narc in Alia. An Angel, then Shieldred, probably up against the Boros Tokens deck. Boros Tokens on the draw, though. When we're on the draw, it feels worse. Now we're gonna very much need to hit a Wrath. Hello! Recording. No. But they will wonder who I'm talking to.
Sorry!
Kelly came home. Oh, alright. Come on, let's get it. Hey, at least there wasn't a turn 3 recruiter there. That's a lot of nuts. Okay, there's hope. We have Gix's command. Must survive. These pain lands have been unfortunate. I need to find a 5th untapped source. Don't think we're gonna play the Lunarch. This is just full, like, Imidane Recruiter waiting room. Okay, so I lose the 1 life from Shieldred, but I'm blocking 3, so that seems good. Just gonna try to stall until we can hit. Until we can hit. Okay. So I could play this out. Tapped. Play like a Lunarch Veteran, and that guarantees that I can do the Gix's command. I think that's what I'm gonna do. Okay. 1 turn. Drum roll. Right. We go. Start each creature with power 2 or less. 2+1/+1 counters on something. When an angel, gonna gain us some life, spawn a 4/4. And they turn it around here. I guess we'll just play it safe. Okay, I think we survived the onslaught. Okay, now they're done. Get it. This deck does do well against that Boros Convoke deck. Alright, we got Lunarch into a tap land, another Lunarch into Deep Cavern Bat and Molly. Okay, yeah, decent options. Opponent's going first again. Okay, well, we've got options. We can play a tap land, or we can do the caves and play the Deep Cavern Bat. I think that's probably worth doing. Against Azorius, or up against Dimir Midrange again. Maybe roll. It could have a counter spell. Disappear. I feel like the control matchup is so lost anyway that I'm not sure I like these Restless Fortresses. Like, I get it that the control matchup needs help, but like, hasn't felt good.
I've already read your thoughts. You won't stop us. Heal.
Find lands. Now, we've seen Jace and a Make Disappear, which makes me think this is a Esper control list or a Dimir control list, as opposed to the ranged list. Which means Virtue of Persistence is likely to not have any good targets. If we hit a land, we can go Lunarch into Gumdrop. Oh, okay. Paid 3 life to give that -3. Interesting. Then, wow. Doesn't it seem a bit aggressive to take 6 damage to remove Amalia? Alright. Options. I feel like the Deep Cavern Bat's okay. I can't believe they took that much damage to get rid of Amalia. That's crazy. Do a deadly cover up here just to board wipe. Fixes command. Okay. I guess they can mill me if they want to get rid of the bat. They not. See what you got. And 2 lands. Wow. Okay.
I will clear your mind.
Where's the invasion of Amonkhet or whatever, right? Right, can we seal the deal? This deck does not usually do well after Wrath. Like, one more Geeks' Command, one more Deadly cover-up or anything like that, and I'm just scooping.
No secret escapes my grasp.
See. Okay. That's a different take. Get into a 2-1. Trades with Gumdrop Poison. And this does something, right? When it dies, exile the top card of your library. Target opponent loses life equal to its mana value. If it's an instant or sorcery card, you may cast it without paying its cost. So I think we're kind of in trouble here. I don't even have the ability to pop the food to be able to do it. Yes, Virtue of Persistence allows me to... Or I could do the Gumdrop Poisoner after attacking. Alright, let's see how bad this is. Okay, cut down makes sense. That was a total of 3 already? I don't even need to do the Virtue, I could just play the drop. Intrigue. Beach. Wait, what did they play for free? I missed what they played for free.
We can improve.
They're so fast.
Your ideas.
Did an Azorius spell? Where'd it go? Huh. I miss what that card was. Going to 3 is good. Back bat. Block their Wrath. Creating a Might's fine. Ah, no. Make disappear. Okay. Done. What was that? Dimir roll? Hit it Sigu? Alrighty. We are going first. We've got Lunarch Veteran into Sadistic Pilgrim into Lunarch Veteran and Amalia. I like it. See if the opponent can answer. Azorius Control again? Oh my god, okay. Deep Cavern Bat is kind of tempting. I don't know if they have the lockdown or not. Let it begin. Yeah, just trade here. I don't know if that's a good trade, but my hope is I can get in damage with Amalia. That way they're not chump blocking. Celestis is not a Wrath. Here we go, moment of truth. So we go Lunarch Veteran. Amalia big. Fine. Deep Cavern Bat here to block the depopulate. Okay. That seems fine. I should probably get rid of the case here on the one that doesn't give us anything. Don't think I'm going to Takenuma for additional value. So My hope here is they don't top deck a Wrath. They can only do Memory Deluge. I think I might have got him. Hey, we beat Azorius Control. Oh my god, not a favorable matchup. Well, it's been a long time since I've played a deck that went 25 losses in the 50 match summary. And I think this one's gonna do it. This doesn't do anything until turn 3. Hey. It's again tap land problem. There's just too many tap lands in this list. Alright, we're up against Mono-Red. If there's a list that we can beat, it's gotta be Mono-Red, right? 3 tap lands in hand. Watch Mono-Red steamroll us. I guess I should have done the Restless Fortress so that we can get the Malia down to then play that to gain life. Alright. Can we survive? Gain 2 here. Gumdrop Poisoner is excellent. Next turn we go Restless Fortress, remove one of their 2/2s. Stalker's Frenzy here. Okay. Fine. Should be okay. I do think I'm going to take out the Bloodthirsty Adversary, just because they can't have a spell. I think if they had a shock or something there, that would have felt pretty bad. It didn't have any delay, but I think we've stabilized. This deck does do good stuff against Mono-Red. That is a lot of removal, man. Then we go Amalia into Virtue. Keep Cavern Bat. I go with no. Have no hand left, right? Maybe I should have just kept it. But we get a fair amount of dig here. Alright, that was a little unfortunate. But we have turn 7 for Virtue of Persistence, at least. Godric, eh? Okay. Shieldred was great. Should just be GG. Dark Veteran, meh. Gumdrop Poisoner is good. I'm blocking this no matter what, right? Okay, Witchstalker's Frenzy, fair. Yeah. Bye-bye, Mono-Red. Despite the tap lands. Thanks for watching to the end of my video. I hope you enjoyed it. As far as the ladder goes, I feel like this deck is not in as good a spot as it was just 2 weeks ago. I bumped into a substantial larger amount of control. So the Boros deck that it is supposed to beat, it did not feel particularly like it was doing... This version didn't feel as strong a counter as the one that I ran 2 weeks ago. And like just gaining the little 1 bit of life here and there off of the Case of the Uneaten Feast kind of felt a little bit lackluster. And there are a lot of tap lands in this list, so like getting stuck on not being able to play like Curve Out is kind of a problem. And then there's no response to Azorius Control. The deck just rebuilds very poorly from Sunfalls. The one deck that it does particularly well against is Mono-Red. And so we did bump into Mono-Red. We bumped into Dimir. The Dimir midrange it does relatively well against too, these are both kind of faster paced ones, so the lifelink kind of gets you out of that reach. The problem with the Boros one is that they're just dealing so much damage that the lifelink doesn't really elevate you out of it. And then yeah, the Wraths are just a problem. And same thing with like the 0 interaction made it kind of feel bad against like Esper midrange, not being able to get rid of Rafine. The Selesnya Enchantments, you didn't have early interaction to disrupt their plays. So the Golgari midrange, though, that one was okay, wasn't great. This one I think is boosted because 2 of these at least were against the Insidious Roots deck, which I'm not really sold on. And we also played against a little bit of Jeskai Control, and that one felt bad depending on whether or not they hit their removal. So like you can win the game again, you can win the match against Azorius Control. It's just it's an uphill battle. And then I feel like the Boros Convoke deck, like I was feeling good about it, but then there's just some curve outs where you just don't have a good response. And I don't feel like the Deep Cavern Bat is particularly good at disrupting the Boros Convoke. So I didn't feel like that was an improvement. But yeah, it's one of those that like, if you're not going to be hard countering the most common matchup, it's kind of hard to justify how bad it is against the Azorius Control. Now, I could have just caught an unlucky sample, right? I do think that it is somewhere around a tier 2 deck, despite not pulling a 50%. It doesn't feel like a tier 3 deck. It does feel like it is a legitimate counter to a section of the meta, but you do kind of have to hope that things go in your favor. If you like this sort of thing, I do one every single week. So next Friday, on Sunday, there will be a vote after my meta analysis that will be the next archetype to play for showcasing the next 50 matches on Saturday. So yeah, remember to place your vote and let me know what you think about the deck. If you, I mean, I've had a couple of people comment that the Lifegain deck in general is just better at the beginning of a format when there's a bunch of aggro, and I feel like that's the opposite of what I experienced, where it was better at the end of Lost Caverns of Ixalan, where there wasn't as much control. Also, I'd be really curious, just let me know, how much control have you been bumping into? Because like it does depend on where you are in the ladder, and I'm like, we're just like barely about to hit into diamond. So it could just be like a patch of a whole bunch of control really made this matchup miserable. But I'd love to hear what you think in the comments below. So yeah, take care everybody, and maybe I'll see you on the ladder.